I'm aware this video is going to get so much hate and criticism, but when I get a download from the universe, it is what it is. These are the facts. And I mean no hate to any individual, because in reality, we aren't individuals. We are all God. Just some of us are misguided. If this video offends you, simply turn it off. I don't mean to hurt your feelings or anything like that. I am simply speaking my vibrational frequency and projecting it to the collective consciousness. If you don't resonate with this information, carry on. This video isn't targeting individuals that may identify with this topic. This video is targeting the hidden agenda behind this whole movement. It isn't about personal freedom. It's about enslaving and confusing the minds of the masses and glorifying lust, which is a slippery slope that only leads to demise of the soul. All religions, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, all see lust as a demon that must be eradicated. If we wish to rise our consciousness to the next level, if we wish to stay animals, there is nothing wrong with it. But we are humans. We are evolved more than animals. We must show that we are different, and being in control of our sexual desires is important for that. What did I mean that it isn't about personal freedom, but it's about enslaving the minds of the masses? Well, let's get into it. Throughout all cultures of history, enlightened beings would always say, "Know thyself." When you know thyself, you know God, because we are one and the same. As above, so below, Alpha and Omega. This movement glorifies those who do not know thyself. It glorifies those who have childhood trauma that they wear as their ego. They think that they know thyself, but they do not. And this isn't their fault. Let's take a few steps back and understand the origin of homosexuality and transgenderism. But before we do that, we must address the true nature of reality. There are two energies which make the world and all things in it, the masculine and the feminine. In Hinduism, this is Shiva and Shakti. In science, this is potential and kinetic. All things are of these natures. All things have masculine and feminine energies. It is how reality is. It just is simply a fact. When a being becomes enlightened, their energies are perfectly balanced, half masculine and half feminine. This is why the praying hands symbolizes the two hemispheres of the brain coming together, the merging of the masculine and feminine. It is when these two become one that we are liberated. The average unenlightened male has more masculine energy than he does feminine energy. And the average unenlightened female has more feminine energy than they have masculine energy. But this isn't always the case. With much childhood trauma, these energies could shift in one way or the other. We have 5 possibilities. Possibility number 1, a male with more masculine energy than feminine energy. Possibility number 2, a female with more feminine energy than masculine energy. Possibility number 3, a male with more feminine energy than masculine energy. Possibility number 4, a female with more masculine energy than feminine energy. Possibility number 5, which is what we all must strive for in this life or the next, a being with perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. When I mentioned a male with more female energy, or a female with more male energy, this is where homosexuality and transgenderism stems from. They are energetic imbalances. And these imbalances may have come from childhood trauma in this life, or it may have even come from karma from a previous life. But understand that no one is good or bad. They are simply playing out what they are meant to do in relation to their karma and where they are at on their soul journey. Many religions, like modern Christianity practitioners, show too much hatred towards these people. though their actions are not of the highest good. We must treat others the way we want to be treated, because we are all one, and how we treat others is ultimately how we feel and treat ourselves. When I speak about Christianity, specifically, I want to point out that Jesus, or Yeshua as his true name was, specifically hung out with people who had trouble with lust, like prostitutes. This doesn't mean that he supports or rides with that behavior. He speaks against lust and everything that they stand for, but he still loves them because he knows we are all one and understands that they are on a different stage in their soul's evolution. So what I'm doing here is simply speaking the truth, but that doesn't mean all souls are required to be on this stage at this time. If you are ready to retain this information, you will. If you are not, I'm not speaking ill on you, and there's nothing wrong with you. Simply let your life play out as it is meant. And to those spiritual people who are hearing this message and agree with this, simply be a beacon of light to those that are ready, and your simple presence will help those who are not ready in ways that aren't so noticeable, in more subtle ways. So simply love everyone, despite whether they are vibrationally fit or not. But I want to get back to this whole homosexuality and transgender situation. If you felt this way from a very early age, it is possible that you may have had trauma from your childhood affect these energies and cause imbalances, or it may have been from a past life. Regardless, you have two choices. You can either let this play out, or you can seek to fix your balances. And this is what it truly means when these religions speak that if you're homosexual, you'll go to hell and all of this stuff. Now, as black and white as that statement is, it's simply false. Because heaven and hell aren't places. Heaven is the highest vibration, and hell is a variety of low vibrations. Like the 7 deadly sins sums it up pretty well, that those are the 7 main ways to experience a non-peaceful state of being. Lust being one of them, which we will be focusing on here. Think of heaven as reaching enlightenment, because that is in actuality what this means. Much of the religions like Christianity have been heavily misinterpreted from what Yeshua was actually teaching. It is more similar to Hinduism and Buddhism's take on the topic. So in actuality, homosexuality as it stems from lust, it can truly be said that one who has lust will not reach enlightenment because he is not balanced, and he has not had his lower natures under control. But what do I mean that homosexuality stems from lust? Though there is an exception, which is 2 souls who did not plan on being homosexual, finding each other, and they are actually twin flames, and that they are actually seeking to grow together and balance their energies through multiple lives, this is a different story. But for the most part, those who simply say, I am attracted to my same gender because of the physical appearance, this is simply lust. This means that they are too attached to the material, the body, which is impermanent. This lust is the same type of lust that a straight male sees when he sees a female only for their body. It is about the soul, regardless of your sexuality. And as I said, there is an exception where 2 males or 2 females have chosen before they have come here to grow with each other despite the same gender. Because in actuality, souls do not have genders. This life is meant to just teach us lessons. The material world is the playing field for God to experience itself. But with those few exceptions aside, if we understand that we are not this body and we truly are not in the material world, we can overcome this. But let me get back to masculine and feminine energies. I'm going to give you an example. Let's take a male. Now, ultimately, what does a male stand for? Strength, power, a calm mind, and being able to stand up for himself and those who he loves. Now, when a boy is born into a abusive family, or he is sexually assaulted, and he simply has his power taken away from him, his masculine, powerful energy will begin to decline. And there are different levels to this. If it declines only a little bit, he may grow up being a weak man who does not stand in his power. If it declines even more, he may start to realize that there is more feminine energy than masculine energy, very predominantly. This means that he will see himself vibing with more of the female energy than the male energy, which means he will start to think like a female in a male's body, thus meaning he thinks as a female, and females are attracted to males. This will turn a male homosexual. He will begin to like other males. If he has really, truly lost his power, he has such little masculine energy that he practically believes he just is a female. This is where a male wanting to be a female comes from. He truly believes he is a female in a man's body. This is the result of an extreme energy imbalance. Let's take another example. A female who has been born into a family to where she has to take up the responsibilities of the males. Maybe she does not have a father figure. Maybe she's forced to do the work of her parents. This too has 3 phases. Phase number 1, this female may grow up more like a tomboy, not really vibing with the average female. Phase number 2, she may begin to think more like a male as her feminine energy declines. She will be attracted to females. And phase number 3, she truly believes she is a male in a female's body. But the entirety of this topic stems around male and female energies. I want you to understand that a male having too much masculine energy and a female having too much feminine energy can also be destructive. This can birth things like toxic masculinity and feminist extremists. We must understand the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. If we look at the actual reality, a male and a female's energies combined will create a child. A male and a male will not. A female and a female will not. This is how life is. This is reality. And to ignore this is delusion. A male and a female being together is more than just bringing life into this world. A male is meant to teach a female how to be strong, and a female is meant to teach a male how to be loving and nurturing. Both of these energies are sacred and beautiful aspects of God. The sacred masculine is that of strength, power, and endurance. And the divine feminine is that of nurturing, peace, and love. Knowing that, you can easily see how the world would be absolute chaos without both of these energies working together. For too long, the masculine energy has overtaken the feminine. This is why such harsh things have happened in history. The collective consciousness lacked peace and love of the feminine. It ran in a male-dominant way of being. Now, many of you do not know of the global awakening happening, the rise to a higher consciousness and the ascension of planet Earth. What's needed collectively is for that feminine energy to rise and become equal again with the masculine energy. This is why we're seeing a lot of peace and freedom movements. Understand the dark beings, the elites who have been in control of this planet for a very, very long time. They're panicking. They know they cannot stop the rise of this feminine energy of love and peace. But these dark beings are deceptive. They're cowards. They act in the shadows. They do not want the masculine and the feminine energies to become equal on a collective level or a personal level, because then they will not be able to control you. If you are perfectly balanced, you will see through the lies and deceptions of their matrix. So one of the many agendas they are trying to play out is that of destroying the masculine as this feminine energy rises. They know they cannot stop its rising. They know their only option is more mind games, deception, and agendas. We must not destroy masculinity. This is what the elite want, because masculinity stands for personal power and strength. And the more that they can confuse you so that you do not know yourself, the easier it is to fool you with this. This is the true agenda behind the LGBT. Of course, this is not the only thing they are doing to take away your power, and I will be discussing more in other videos. They want a society of weak slaves, and most importantly, the men. They want the men to be feminine and weak. Not only does the tap water make you feminine, everything about this society now is designed to make you weak. Not only do they want to prevent your enlightenment, they want to prevent you as a whole from standing in your own power. Especially the men. We are the warriors. They do not want warriors, because warriors will overthrow them. They want weak, feminine little slaves. They want you being a slave working a 9-to-5 job so that you're just a pawn in the bigger game. And along with lust in this LGBT parades, you see them normalizing BDSM fetishes and domination. This stuff is truly sickening, because those that enjoy this, they are playing on your childhood trauma and mixing it with your sexual desire so that you simply enjoy being dominated and being a slave. Understand that this direct attack on masculinity is the very reason why they have made it so that everybody hates people like Andrew Tate. I don't want to make this video too much about him, but what I do want to say is, though he may not be perfect in everything he says, most of what he stands for is to keep the masculine energy alive in this time period. He is playing his part. We all have our own unique parts to play in this global awakening, and he is doing his. He may not be as spiritually aware as many of the other light workers, but we don't all have to be on the same playing field. We're all here for certain reasons, and certain reasons require certain vibrations. We all have our specific soul missions and contributions in this whole thing. Understand that if we truly want this global change to happen sooner than later, we have to stand in our power, but also have peace and love. We must all stand together in the oneness that we are. We must not fall for their division and fight amongst each other. The best way to fight them is to be the best version of ourselves. Work on balancing your masculine and feminine energies so that you are a perfectly balanced being. Let's rise humanity together.